According to the Central Bank of Nigeria, the new policy on cash-based transaction in banks is aimed at reducing but not eliminating the amount of physical cash in circulation in the economy, but to encourage more electronic-based transactions. However, some residents have expressed a total mistrust in the policies, stating that it was not properly thought through.
I think to a very large extent the policy was thought about and not properly thought through. For you to think through a policy, you need to look at the benefits of that policy, the preparedness of the country to implement that policy, and also what impacts that policy will have, far-reaching impact, both the immediate and the distant impacts we've seen. So in one fell swoop, we saw the government, through that policy, strengthening banks, filling stations and marketers, began to charge an extra 15 naira on every single transaction that happens. People would rather carry cash than pay the extra 15 naira. So the policy of the government actually negates the idea of people going cashless.
We should first sit down and look at what will work for us as a nation, taking cognizance of our peculiar situations, our infrastructural deficits, our network, broadband penetration, internet, all that should be taken into consideration. And then, as a citizen, government should also feel for us. It just shows that government is detached from the realities of the pains that people feel. If they do, nobody will introduce such policies on the people.
This policy, the way it's supposed to benefit the common man, these charges should be removed. For every transaction that we make, the bank charges us. It's a confused state. Is government really for the people? No, in this case, it's very obvious. So for me, I think that the best way the government should go is make it plain to us, make it alternative. If you want to carry cash, if you want to be cashless, you will pay. Make it open so that people know what they're doing. If you tell me, you're charging me 15, and supposing I'm transacting maybe 4 times in a day, I'll pay like 200 naira because I'm using ATM card.
We talk about policies in Nigeria. I don't think plenty have been thought through. And before you bring out a policy, there are supposed to be institutions. There are supposed to be institutions. There are supposed to be checks and balance, needs assessment. You're supposed to have some background checks on how it's going to happen. What will be the fulcrum of your thrust in policy making? Right now, just come out and say cashless policies. So why are you talking about cashless policy when the instruments of cashless policies are not even used properly? You're still forcing people. To go back to cash.
They, however, expressed the facilities they put in place for less privileged before the policies be implemented.
I have to use my ATM card, and if you want to encourage me to go cashless. So I think that the policy itself, it's what I would call a two-edged sword. You understand what I mean? So you're encouraging me not to carry cash, but you're charging me for not carrying cash. So who's losing? Invariably, I am paying for not carrying cash to the government.
We make policies without looking at the impact of those policies. No research. The policies, our government views, decisions are not based on any empirical findings. If we're pushing for cashless policy, and just like every other policy, you even create incentives to attract people to willingly comply. Now, while you're pushing for cashless policy, people are being taxed. Card maintenance fees by banks.
Cashless transactions are principally based on the availability of internet services and ability to use information technology. Question is, how many Nigerians have the ability to use those facilities? And the figures are very, very, very extremely poor of Nigerians. Most Nigerians are still illiterate. Most Nigerians still operate in very archaic system, and most Nigerians live in rural areas where they are sometimes cut away from electricity supply and from internet services. Before you introduce a policy that depends on electricity, that depends on internet coverage, and depends on education, you need to also begin to ask yourself, To what extent are people educated?
Let's put the institutions, the foundation properly together before we now start shoving it down the throat of everybody. You understand? But the people in the villages who just have small things to do and some are illiterates. So how will you really drive this thing? This is a program that should run with time and proper sensitization, education, and then making it less cumbersome.
The CBN cashless policy is strictly applicable to cash-based transaction and not electronic banking. Residents, however, feel that individuals should be compensated for using card transactions rather than being debited. Kome Odomo for Quest News.